All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Free American. I'm your host. I am Clay Douglas. No apologies for anything that I say that goes on the show. I only tell you the truth. And I do take some calls, rarely. It's going to get more rare because it seems like in the mornings, before I even get into the show, all I've got is a call and I've got a bunch of fucking queers, gays, transvestites, or whatever you want to call the poor confused people that don't know whether they're a man or a woman, like Jenner. Oh, you want to call her Caitlyn Jenner? Fuck you. I'm not calling a fucking fag. He wants to change his name to a woman. And they've been recently, I even got to talk to a lawyer with one of the numbers that they had up here. And he wants, he's trying to tell me, oh yeah, well they compared his DNA to the giant, to this. That's all just bullshit that they're trying to lay on you to try to get you to talk about them, to try to give them some press. Well, it ain't going to work. I ain't falling for it. But today we've got something more important to talk about. Ron Agner is my guest today. Hello, Ron. How are you? Ron, are you with me? Okay, what happened here? And I see we got people on the chat room. Usually we got a bunch of fucking fags or Jews coming in this chat room wanting to talk about something before the show even got started. And they don't know what all they want to do is try to promote their issues. Well, let me just cut that all short today and tell you to go fuck yourself. Go look in the mirror, and you're the problem in this country. I don't want to talk to you. Today. I got a real man, a real patriot, a real problem solver with me today. And I don't even want to hear your little whiny voices today. 213 area code. You've been hanging in for 30 minutes. You're on with Ron Agner and me. You know who I am, so
hey,
who
Ron.
are you?
Hey, Clay. Hey, Ron. Hey, Clay. I'd like to...
Yeah, we know your name. We know our names. What's your name? That's how we start off.
Robert.
What's your name? Where are you?
This is Robert. You talked earlier, Ron, about how you wanted an investigative journalist. I'd like to offer my services. I'm very good at investigating basically any type of conspiracy.
Oh yeah, you're the one that tried to tell me I hadn't taken my oath. You the same one?
I am, yes.
Yeah, some investigative journalist.
I'm the best.
I don't have anything to lose by this. If he wants to contact me, just give give him my number off the air, and
I'll give you his number. I won't subject you. His number is 2. Get your pen and write this down, Ron.
Hold on.
Clay
is
knows
2.
The type of...
Shut up. His number is 213-349-8977, and he changes that number. He's got some system, so he changes the number so I won't recognize it. And as far as being an investigative journalist, he I'd take. I've never seen anything he's written, and the only thing he's ever done is lied about me. So you can put that in your pipe and smoke it. Now go ahead, Robert. Get it out. Shut up! I haven't finished talking yet, you ignorant motherfucker. Now I'll let you on. I'll let you talk.
Our differences.
Shut up!
We've had our differences.
I haven't finished.
But...
Shut up! I'll hang up on your ass right now. You don't fucking talk over me, you ignorant, lying son of a bitch. You understand that? I'll hang up on you right now. You ever fucking utter another word while I'm talking. You got that?
Clay, just because we've had our personal differences doesn't
personal difference. You're a lying motherfucker. Go ahead. Go ahead, you lying son of a bitch. Yeah, I will when I get through telling him what a sack of shit you are. Go ahead.
Doesn't mean that you should interfere with me possibly exposing this.
I'll hang up on your ass, you dumb. I'll tell you what, you're a dumb motherfucker. I'm going to tell him that. Now shut up.
Here.
Okay, go ahead.
Why don't we go on with this, and I can just explain to him. Just simply go to, the information I've already given you, and you can do your own investigation, just exposing the fact that John DeCamp, who is very well known now through the Pizzagate people, wrote in the Franklin cover-up that it's most frightening. Read that. Yeah, read it in the Franklin cover-up. And then go to Mark Taylor, John DeCamp, and you can understand that John DeCamp stood up and he said, gee, these boys the shooters were being raped. And then you can start understanding that the FBI wouldn't do anything because we discovered a picture. Now, this was separate from the information that John DeCamp was giving us. Long before he ever made any of these statements, we were already investigating a picture that Eric Harris drew, which is identified as walshbuttrape.txt. So that picture is obviously where we started off thinking, well, gee, that picture, we're seeing it as being a picture of a child being raped. And then we were able to discover that picture in a police file where they labeled it. So start thinking
I'll definitely look into
just on the things that I've been sharing with you, that this is all about the deep state covering up pedophilia the same way that they did it in the Franklin cover-up. Now we're at the Pizzagate. They're doing the same thing.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Also,
and I apologize for Clay's outburst.
Yeah, Ted Gunderson's a dear friend of ours, too, and he's dead. They poisoned him. So everybody knows who Ted Gunderson is that is involved in Pizzagate. And we have a friend, Judy Chase, who came. She's from New Zealand, and came to Jefferson County, the same county as Columbine, to raise orphan children. And her husband was murdered by satanic pedophiles that were trafficking children. And also her lead investigator, Harris, was murdered. He was poisoned.
Right. I'm absolutely interested in finding out
there's
more
a lot of dead people here. So
I'm going to your website.
Robert, quit talking over somebody when they're talking, motherfucker, or I'll hang up on you right now.
I apologize for Clay and his outbursts.
So I think I've given you enough information. You could probably put up a good little YouTube,
Yeah, definitely. Clay, can you calm down? We're trying to have a conversation.
Then quit talking over him when he's talking, you ignorant son of a bitch.
Stop interrupting us, Clay. Come on.
Fuck you. Goodbye, you dumb motherfucker. Don't call that no more. You understand?
All right. Ron, thank you so much.
Back to Judy Chase's Amber Alert. I've been in the room with 2 out of the 3 widows. I'd never met Ted Gunderson's widow, but I've been in, that's getting real close to home when I'm doing the same thing they are, trying to expose this pedophile Illuminati. And when it comes to some of the other information, we learned of a child trafficking operation in California
Hey, Clay,
where they
stop
were
interrupting.
taking children out of abortion clinics, raising them up for the child trade, and transporting them to the Yellowstone Club, which is a billionaires club. And they were friends of the Clintons. We did the money trail on them, and there's the Clinton Foundation right there amongst the rest of the billionaires that are being supplied with these children. So, I can go into depth on that one if you'd like me to, depending on.
Well, yeah, we know
the
the Clintons are always up to nefarious stuff.
But this has always been, everybody wants to think these pedophiles are just loners that hang around in alleys grabbing kids. But no, these are people that are transporting children in high-powered aircraft and moving them around. And many times they even use Air Force jets. We came across one gentleman on one of our trips back to meet with John D. Camp and met David Schurter, who was raised up by a satanic father. Some of his earliest memories is that of his father's hand over his as he's doing a sacrificial murder of a child. And he's openly gay, so I don't really, I'm very proud of him because he, even though he's gay, he stands against pedophilia, and he stands against Satanists. But he actually took us to places where they were doing the sacrifices, and it's a park that obviously was chosen because it had a lookout to where you could see the people coming down the road, and in order to get to the shelter where they were doing these sacrifices, you had to walk up a lot of stairs to get there, and it was obviously, and that was connected to the Offutt Air Force Base because a lot of the people that were conducting these sacrifices were with Offutt. So you might check out David Schurter and learn that he's friends of ours. We actually had him. He had seminars that we spoke at. Donna and I were there, and we've learned a lot about this. Before Pizzagate, we had so much knowledge that, and obviously we were frightened at that point because there weren't very many people that had this knowledge, and we're very fortunate that we lived through it because, as you know, the Clintons have, what is their body count up to now? About 150 people.
Jesus, I think that's a conservative estimate. Well, definitely, I'm interested in finding out more and doing some investigative journalism. Clay can vouch for, my work. We've worked together in the past. So,
fuck you! Yeah, I would never vouch for you, you ignorant, lying motherfucker. Go to hell. Get off my account. Don't call in again.
Clay,
go to hell.
Clay, we're simply trying to expose to Satan. We don't really need somebody that wants to attack others that want to expose Satan. This is I entered into Columbine carrying crosses, and I truly am. I'm working for God and God only. Okay?
Ron, I understand that. That's why you've got the show. You're my guest on the show. You can talk about this. Nobody's going to interrupt you. I'm not going to interrupt you. You've got the right to talk about all these billionaires, anything you want. But that Robert is a lying fucking troll. And his handler, he's trying to come up here too. Some guy by the name of Markov that has threatened me, that has bragged about running these trolls against me. So nothing against me. Well, I'll handle these callers. I know who they are. Okay, now we got one guy. We've got a caller right now here.
I don't have a problem if somebody's living a moral, otherwise moral life. If they want to live with another man and that's what they do, as long as they do it in a manner that it's not affecting me. I have no. Yeah. I have too many of my own issues that I have to deal with without knowing.
That's fine. I understand that. But these people are coming on my show and interrupting and putting out lies about me and about friends of ours like Ted Gunderson. I've eliminated most of those from my chat room. And now we've got somebody here from the 508 area code. Who are you? Where are you? And what's on your mind here?
Hello, Clay. Hello, Ron.
Hi.
Two simple questions.
I just wanted.
Who are you? Where are you? And talk to Ron. You know, we know our names. What's yours?
This is Beverly. I'm calling from Waverly, Massachusetts.
Okay, what's on your mind with Ron Agner?
Yes, I just wanted to say I am deeply offended at some of the things that you are talking about, peddling conspiracy theories about child being murdered. I just find it deeply offensive.
Well, why don't you go pack sand, lady, because it's the truth. So I don't lie. So if you think I'm lying about this, go to hell, because that's where you're going anyway.
Excuse me, sir. You don't have to be inappropriate.
Excuse me, but you just told a big lie because you think that there's something wrong with what I have to say. And I'm telling you, I do not lie. I am telling you the absolute truth. I'll even go so far as to say that our investigation goes into Massachusetts. Are you anywhere near Deerfield?
I am.
Okay, well, as you know, Bill, now what the hell's his name? Help me, the guy that's been our black father inspiration, Bill Cosby. Okay, Bill Cosby. I'm sorry, I'm having a problem with names today. Yeah, I have a good dear friend that lives in Deerfield, volunteer fire department. And we took a packet of information and gave this to Bill Cosby, because Bill Cosby lives right there on the Deerfield River. And he was friends of my friend who was a volunteer fireman. He would always support. And this friend of mine, he had his son murdered by roadside bomb. And he was supposed to have, at some point, wanted to own a restaurant, and I was hoping that he was going to work for me someday. I witnessed this young man even in the nursery when he was first born, and it really upsets me that he was unnecessarily murdered because of a war that didn't have to happen. But in this case, you people that don't think your leaders are leading you into hell, just keep it up, because if you don't want to know the truth, why don't you go someplace else and listen to mainstream media, because they'll lie to you all day long, lady.
Clay, you should know better than to peddle this conspiracy.
Yeah, bullshit.
Theorist.
You're a stupid fucking broad, and I don't have any patience with stupidity. They've tried to kill me.
Shame on you, Clay. Shame
on you.
Shame on you.
Fuck you.
Wake up.
Go to hell.
Time to wake up.
Go to hell. You ignorant, stupid bitch.
I am woken, but I do not enjoy peddling child conspiracy theories that involve children.
Well,
shame on
go to hell, lady.
Or Pedogate and start figuring it out, lady, because you're brain dead.
She is, and she's gone.
Too much fluoride, I guess, huh?
575. 575. What kind of ignorant bullshit do you have to say 575? Who are you? Where are you?
Clay, this is Markov. If you'd like these calls to stop, just say the word. I can make it happen.
How about
I've actually
fuck you,
enjoyed
Markov?
this show today. I've truly enjoyed
How
your guest.
about fuck you,
this guy,
Markov?
Clay, listen. It's too important what you're doing here to be disturbed by people such as this. What is this sound? Are you recording me?
Nope. Yeah, you're being recorded, you stupid motherfucker. You can't threaten
What
me.
is the sound?
You can't blackmail me. And as far as I'm concerned, Markov, you're a lying motherfucker. Now go to hell, Markov.
What threats do you refer to? What threats do you refer to?
I can make this stop. I can make this stop. Oh, these people work for me. Fuck you, you ignorant, pretend Russian. Go to hell.
Well, Clay, I've got these homosexuals calling you for me.
No,
they're all working for you,
I'd like
huh?
to talk to you because Putin has actually got the information. I'm hoping maybe Putin will force the Illuminati out of our country. I really think he's a decent man.
Of course, Ron, this is what we try to do. I approach Clay. I tell him I have information for him, something he could use, something to talk about on this show, but he refuses to accept my information. What can I do?
Well, I don't know what kind of information you have, but quite obviously, I'd be interested in hearing what you have to say. Are you truly a Russian? Are you?
Yes, I am truly Russian.
Are you?
No, I live in USA past 12 years.
Okay, but you obviously, so many of the people that have come from other countries seem to understand because they haven't been indoctrinated like they have Americans have.
I understand.
They come
I
and they can
understand.
see their perspective is much better. So
Okay, hold on, Ron, hold on. Markov,
okay.
If you're from Russia and you're on our side here, why would you be having these fucking homosexual trolls calling in and interrupting my show? Why would you do that?
Well, Clay, I will answer this question. As I said, you refused to listen to me and my information, so I had to get a little creative and get these homosexuals to call in your show. I guess not so much to threaten, but to squeeze a little bit out of you so you agree to do, to speak about what I have to say.
Yeah, well, go ahead, go to hell, you ignorant, lying motherfucker. Nobody threatens me, and you can have people call me all day long. I'll hang up on them, just like I'm going to hang up on you, you lying cocksucker. Go to hell.
In Clay's defense, can I tell you that
no, he's already gone. I'm not putting up with that blackmail shit, Ron.
No, I really think, Clay, that your anger is directed properly, but in doing that, you might be missing out on some information because, see, Putin.
I've got the information he sent me. Let me tell you what he
Americans
sent.
from adopting
Ron,
Russian children.
I'm all for
he has knowledge.
I am all for the work that Putin's doing, and I've told people on this show for years that the Russians have never been our enemy, that the Cold War was a whole false flag deal that they used to sell atomic weapons and faulty power plants, probably run by the Jews. They built all the power plants, atomic power plants, so they could produce atomic weapons when they could have made the power plants out of thorium, powered this whole country, and never built a single atomic weapon to threaten us. And so the whole Cold War was a whole bullshit, false flag. The Russian people have never been our enemy, except when they murdered the Tsar and set up the whole Bolshevik revolution, which was a communist revolution. And some people call it communism, so said the rabbi. I call it Judaism for the masses.
Just imagine how
this motherfucking Markov this motherfucking Markov has bragged about putting people like Robert on my case, who tried to tell everybody I never took an oath to defend the Constitution. Well, if I never took an oath, how do I have this pension from the U.S. Army How do I have my DD-214? How do I have my, and I've got my sign up back in 1964 when I volunteered for Vietnam. I don't like liars, I don't like trolls, and I don't like people trying to blackmail me or threaten me, and I won't stand for it. So, I'm sorry. I know these people better than you do. I deal with them every day, so I'm sorry.
I think Putin has already told the powers that be that if Trump doesn't come out with the knowledge that he will. So I'm looking forward to this normalization of relations between Russia and America, because I think we're standing in the right spot. And as I say, I can't trust any politician. I don't think we really should have career politicians. But in this case, if Putin wants to stand up against the New World Order, I'm all for him.
Me too. And I've warned people about it. I've warned people about it because because Putin is telling us the truth. Putin may have the key here to the whole UFO thing. I mean, there's a lot more to this UFO. There's been a war on this planet that's over the 10,000 years old, and the information maybe beneath the Antarctic is about the war that went on 10,000 years ago that destroyed the planet Tiamat, and the weapons that these ancients had. We've been conned, Ron. We've been conned. They wanted you to believe that our ancestors were cavemen dragging their knuckles on the ground when our ancestors were flying around in magnetically powered spaceships. We came down. We came down in intelligence, down in brain power, and recovered from a civilization that traveled between the stars, I believe. And let's take one more call here. We're doing great. I really appreciate you being on here. I want to remind people what we were started to talk about too, and that's Mark and Donna being down in Bolivia and being trapped down there. How can we help? What can we do? We'll get to that in a moment or two. I got a couple more calls here I want to take. One is over in the 310 coming from the
Hey, guys.
Pit. Who are you? What do you want?
Hey.
310.
Hey, Clay, Ron, how you doing? It's Buddy calling again. How are you guys today?
Who are you?
This is Buddy. I'm listening here with my two
Buddy.
girls. Ron, I mean, like Clay said, this show is, something that he's trying to do to put out there for the people, and I appreciate you coming on today. It's just when it comes to the trolls, just try not to let them get you down. And Clay, you too. I mean, they call in so much, but it's just it can really get on your nerves sometimes when people are always calling in and just always making fun of you and just what you're trying to do and stuff like that. And you guys are talking about pedophiles and that serious stuff.
Let's not get into this personal conflict. Let me go on and explain to you that Donna also is very familiar with the Fukushima meltdown, and Colorado has gotten...
Stop the crying and whining. Buddy, stop it, or I'll hang up on you. I don't need any whiners on here. I don't even think
Clay,
we got two girls in there.
Why don't you, you guys can fight some other time, but I'm trying to get some information out here. Donna knows quite clearly that the Fukushima radiation, especially in Colorado, we're the watershed of many rivers in the west, and all the snow and rain, that's how the fallout ends up on the earth, ends up falling in Colorado, and because of that, the water supply in Colorado has got tritium in it. Now, tritium is a molecule that you can't separate the extra helium. It becomes H3O. and it's going to actually, unless you start drinking deep well water, you're going to have some health problems because you're consuming this tritium water. And I also did a research on the milk in Colorado, in which case I had to face off with the Attorney General. They attacked me when I was looking into the ice cream that I was selling at my restaurant. The name of my restaurant was Coney Island, Colorado. And in doing that, I refused to serve ice cream to children that was radiated. So I asked for a clean bill of health from the Colorado State Extension Office, and they would not give me a clean bill of health on my ice cream. So that made me realize that I would not serve ice cream at a restaurant, and I used to serve hundreds of gallons a week. And,
I appreciate that too, Ron.
Well, I learned so much that's why we chose Bolivia instead of Central America. A lot of your people go there. You have to get across the equator because the North American or the northern circulation is circling around the globe with this radiation. And in Colorado, we've if you go to website netc.com, that's the Nuclear Emergency Tracking Center, in which case you can get an hour by hour report as to how much radiation you are receiving. We've topped out at sometimes 740 counts per minute, and at 300 counts per minute, they state that it's time to put on your hazmat suit and evacuate. So there's another reason
Ron,
that we ended up in Bolivia.
It's just very admirable that someone such as yourself and Clay, are both just so committed to what you're doing. You were so committed, you went down to Bolivia, and you got salmonella.
Well, I didn't get salmonella. When I got back to America, they were treating me for salmonella, but that was why I was not recovering. So I ended up in the hospital here, and they found out that it was an enlarged prostate. So you can understand that I was lucky that I got out of there, because I immediately realized they were shooting from the hip. They were just saying I had something, and they were treating me for the wrong illness. And
my God.
I had finally gotten out of the hospitals in the upper Amazon and got to a hospital in La Paz, and then I ended up going to Santa Cruz, because that's where the airplanes fly out to the United States. And I went there intentionally to get Mark and Donna on the plane, but they never boarded. So
you could have been killed.
Well, it's very possible. We don't know whether the long arm of the Illuminati is going to be involved with where they're at. We know that the State Department will not help us, so we're considering that the State Department was something that was created by the Obama administration, and obviously Hillary Clinton was involved with that. If you want to know how serious Fukushima is, just type in Hillary Fukushima emails, and you'll learn that when the power plants initially blew up, there was a huge plume of radiation that crossed the United States, and she was advising all of her friends and associates to stay indoors, not to go out for any other reason. If they did go out, to remove their clothes, to get out the filters, to do all the things. But that's a form of genocide when you don't warn everybody. And at the same time, our president Obama took our airplane and cooled his heels down in Brazil while it passed. So,
well, Ron, you just be safe in what you do. I don't want you or Clay to get hurt. So both you guys just be safe.
I've been at this 19 years, and there's too much information out. If they were to silence me now, they'd just be doing me a favor, because I'm really looking forward to being with my Lord.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I'm going to let you guys go.
Yeah,
just be safe.
This country has gone to hell. So I live in a perpetual hell as long as I'm here. Now, I'd much rather go to Bolivia again and live my life in peace. And I'd hope to just throw my cell phone and my computer away and forget about what this country is and what it will be. Because children are 20 times more susceptible to the radiation. And if what I see is going to come to pass, then the children are going to die first because their little bodies.
I've got two girls. I don't want that to happen.
Well, you've got to get them out. I'm telling you, if you love your children, you cannot allow them to be subjected to this radiation because they will die first. So that is a horrible death when you die later and you have to witness your children dying first. That's what happened to the Columbine victims. I don't want it to happen to anyone. So even though it's not very popular to talk about this, I am a responsible person. And I'm an aircraft mechanic, and I'll tell you what, I can simply tell you that I can fix 747s, but I cannot fix a 747 unless I can get into the hangar with it. And that's what they're dealing with these 3 meltdowns, is they cannot get anywhere near the corium, which is melted down, has gone out of its containment, it's gone China syndrome, and they cannot even get robots in there to see where it is. So tell me that there's a solution to it, and I'd have to say, bring on the aliens if they can fix it. You know what I'm saying? But I think that God is the only answer. If God intervenes in this, then that's the only hope that we have for mankind.
I'm going to pray that God does interfere with it and he helps it, but I'm just trying to be strong. I'm going to go, okay, guys? You guys, thank you for your time. Have a good day.
Thanks. Thanks for your call, buddy. Thanks.
All right.
All right, we got the 915 here, 915 area code. Who are you? Where are you? What's on your mind?
Hi, my name's Sag.
What's your name again?
Bladen? Sag. I still
didn't catch your name, but go ahead.
Oh, it's Sag Willis. Well, I'm from Colorado, and there's been a lot of them homosexuals down here, man, smoking pot and doing stuff, man. They've lost their Republican ways. Do you think that we should just, disown Colorado?
Well, I think
it's smoking pot.
It's not just Colorado.
There is everywhere.
As a matter of fact, we used a they've demonized pot. It sadly has the effect on the mind that it makes you feel a little bit of I'd have to say a comfort level that you normally would not achieve, knowing what the world is about. It gives you a feeling of well-being, but it has so many other uses. You have to understand that it can actually fuel the world. It can provide linens. It can provide some silk-type materials. It can provide even automobiles. They're building automobiles
Didn't it provide
now.
Clay with a big black dick in his mouth?
Why don't you shut up?
Yeah.
I don't.
Go to hell.
This
you
crap.
Goddamn ignorant son of a bitch.
Why don't you shove it up your ass? How about that one, buddy? You must like it. Anyway, Clay,
about 310. That's all right.
But
that's
you egg it on. You really
just
do egg it on.
the mentality and the IQ. so many of these callers got an IQ of 2 digits. 310, another one from the cesspool of L.A. Hello, 310. Who are you? What do you want?
My name's Harry, and I was calling. I'm actually residing down in Florida. Are you there?
Ron's in Florida right now. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was trying to find. You guys were talking about Caitlyn Jenner. And
fuck
the
you.
Area
Nobody's
51.
talking about Caitlyn Jenner. Shut up right now. Shut up. Bruce Jenner, and there ain't nobody named Caitlyn Jenner.
Did you know that Bruce Jenner graduated from Sandy Hook High School?
Yes.
No.
He did.
Isn't that kind of crazy, isn't it?
Well, they're trying to make a correlation.
Talk about him.
And that Obama's card, his Social Security number was from a dead guy that was in the mental institution at Sandy Hook. Now, there's too much about that people don't know.
No, Well, that's what they're trying to say, that Caitlyn Jenner in Area 51, the aliens, that I guess the DNA is matching some giant that they've discovered.
Hey, that's all bullshit. I don't want to hear it on my show. Shut up about it, or I'll hang up on you right now. Ron Hagner is my guest. You want to talk to him? You can talk to him.
That's what we're.
One more word out of your mouth. One more word out of your mouth. Never mind. You're a dumb motherfucker. I'll take another call. Fuck you.
That would be a hard one to vet,
motherfuckers.
Obviously.
Okay. 575. I don't want to talk about a goddamn queer by the name of Bruce Jenner. Not a word about him. Instant hang up. Okay, 575.
It's Randall here.
What
How are you guys
want?
doing?
What's your name?
My name's Randall.
Randall? Go ahead, Randall.
I just wanted to call to attest to the power of prayer. I am a recovering pedophile, but with the power of prayer, I've actually turned my life around. I am now studying to become. I'm studying medicine, and it was a really rocky road to get where I am right now. But I can really say it was just pretty much the power of prayer that helped me get through my my addiction.
I'm sorry.
Well,
I think you should be shot. I think you should be hung or shot. I don't think there's anything such thing as a recovering pedophile. What you did to those children, you should be shot. You ignorant son of a
Clay,
bitch.
the power of
prayer.
Go ahead,
Ron. You
don't
can talk
underestimate. Don't underestimate the power of prayer.
I'm just saying.
Ron, you got anything to say about this ignorant motherfucker?
His testimony would be quite interesting to hear because there are people, like I was saying, this person that came forward and told about him having a past life of being a satanic child. I'm trying to think. David Schroeder is obviously the kind of person that we need in order to understand.
I never really crossed the line. Into molestation. It was more so just lusting and stuff like that. I mean, Clay, have you never lusted after a young boy before?
Never.
No, I don't understand.
And I got to tell you, I detest you. If I ever met you, I would probably put you in the hospital by tearing your goddamn throat out, you ignorant son of a bitch. Goodbye. I got enough of you.
I just can't wrap my mind around the fact that God gave us beautiful women to love, and there's obviously a natural method there to procreate. But I just can't wrap my mind around the fact that a man would prefer a boy's butt. What is that about? I can't understand it. Just don't understand that kind of perversion. Now, when it comes to beautiful girls, we can all appreciate the fact that God created girls that are pretty when they're babies. They're pretty when they grow up and they become beautiful women. But in that case, you have to appreciate the fact that the children are not old enough to even make good decisions as to having sex until they're of age. Now, at some point, then they become stewards of their own body. But until then, we have to protect them from the things that they don't understand. And in this case, that's why we have the laws that keep men from having sex with children, is because they can't they're not old enough to make good decisions when it comes to these things. And obviously, when they become of age, then I guess they are stewards of their own body, and they can make their own decisions as to who they want to have sex with. But until then, leave them alone.
And hope that you never admit in public around me what your little hidden desires are, you sick motherfuckers. I'll be glad to put you in a hospital. Now, 734. 734, who are you? Where are
Ron,
you?
how you doing? This is Matthew. Excuse me, I'd like to talk to Ron. Can you just settle down a little bit, Clay?
Fuck you,
Ron?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a two-part question. My first question is, was there any way that you think we could have prevented Columbine from happening?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I even knew long before Columbine that there were some police officers that were out of control. I had personal knowledge. Don't think that I'm a conspiracy theorist. My home was half a block from the street, Deer Creek Canyon Road, that the boys were molested on. So this was a neighborhood that I knew a lot about even prior to Columbine, and had my own experiences with these criminals. And it was truly at that point where I was hoping that I could focus on getting the conduct of these Jefferson County deputies under control. And I was afraid that we would probably end up with someone getting hurt if I didn't. Let me explain. There was another situation on that same road in which case two girls were having a problem. They had pulled off the side of the road. They may have been drunk. And there were two sisters. One of them walked out into the woods, and the other one sat there on the side of the road and honked her horn and was so afraid that her sister wouldn't come back. But somebody had heard the horn honk, called the sheriff's department. And during this arrest, they broke her window out to extricate her from her car, and they threw her in the back of the patrol car. They didn't seatbelt her in, and they did something that had been happening in the neighborhood called the screen test. And what they do is if you cuss at your spit or whatever, they slam on the brakes, and it causes the occupant to slam their face against the screen. That's why they call it the screen test. They also call it waffling because it puts a waffle print on your face. So that had been happening, and I, at that point, could read between the lines and realize that somebody was going to get hurt if they didn't get these corrupt cops under control, not knowing at that time that what was going to happen was that these two boys were going to get raped. That was not even in my lexicon at the time, but I truly had that feeling that if I didn't get something done about these out-of-control cops, that we would end up with something happening. And when we learned about this picture that Eric Harris drew, obviously I already identified the bullies because I had witnessed them firsthand, that these were the bullies that I had already identified in the neighborhood. And then what do? They blamed the jocks at the school. Let me say that, we built a monument to the Columbine tragedy at a cemetery, in which case we buried many of the Columbine victims. And right across the street on the 13th anniversary of Columbine at Isaac Newton Middle School, there was a 13-year-old boy, probably wasn't even born yet. And what did he do? 2 days before the Columbine anniversary, April 20th, he has all the bomb-making material in his home, preparing to put it under the jocks table and blow the cafeteria up. And they caught him.
All right, let me stop you there, Ron. I'm starting to fall asleep. My second part question is, you sound like a guy who's got a real thick cock. Is that would that be a true assumption?
I don't answer questions like that. That's what you said. It broke up.
I've already hung up on that ignorant motherfucker.
Boy, you really have the trolls out today. I'll tell you, you really.
Every day you got those assholes coming on.
Bring them on.
We got 310.
If that's all they can identify with, then they're going to go straight to hell anyway. I don't really have anything more to tell to them that just simply that that they're already doomed.
Just
that
wish
they're
they were
doomed to
close
hell.
enough so I could send them there.
Well, yeah, I'd
310,
like to
who
send
are
them
you?
there, too. I don't have time in my day for it. Yeah.
310-720, who are you?
Calling in, my name's Shorty, and what more on the topic of child molestation? What do you think is the right age before you can have sex with a kid?
Go to hell, you ignorant motherfucker.
Yeah, that is an
There
ignorant
ain't
story.
no age or right age for molesting a
There is
child.
no right age to
310,
have sex
another
with a child.
310-438.
Hey, boys, how you doing? Hey, Clay. Spider calling. What's up with these
Spider,
fucking
what do you
homos
want?
and pedophiles you got in here today, man?
What do you want? What's on your mind? Don't
That last caller
dignify
really
them by
got me
even
fumed.
noticing them.
You know what makes me think of, Clay? Some good old biker Joe Warren when I hear about those people. Because you know what I like to do? I like to ride big motorcycles, and I like to eat pussy, too.
Kick the shit out of the punkers and faggots.
Yeah, and if
But
you don't like it...
if you don't like that, fuck you.
Fuck you.
You know what?
You got it, guys.
We're wasting too much time dealing with these crazy people that are going to go to hell anyway. God's going to handle that. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that we even need to do. He's going to send them to hell. They'll probably get rounded up. I hope the Trump people are keeping track of the phone calls. You might want to turn them all in. Yeah.
You know what's even crazier?
I post your numbers. Go ahead. What's your in your mind now? Make it quick.
Because well, I'm just saying, because me and my boys here ride around on Harleys. We got tattoos. We wear sleeves. You know what I mean? We get looked at like we're some kind of criminals. Yeah, you got these fucking people.
Harley
too, most likely
and
pedophiles.
I have to tell you that it doesn't make you a man. It means you own a motorcycle. Okay, you can dress up anything you want to be. You can be a cowboy.
But what I'm saying is that hey, we're getting such dirty looks. Meanwhile, we're just good old members of society, and these pedophiles are walking around getting good jobs, $80,000, $100,000 jobs in the community. They're looked upon as beacons.
Start thinking about it. When you have two men pulling down incomes, those people have all the money in the world, and they don't have any children to even send the money to when they die. So all their money goes into the promoting pedophilia. You know what I'm saying? They don't have any. They get to spend the money on themselves. Yeah.
And you know what?
So yeah.
You know what they're doing now? They've got womb transplants that they're doing for men.
The what?
You can look it up. I'm not even kidding around. They've got womb transplants, so they're experimenting with it where they can put a baby on a fucking man.
My God. That started when they were doing the sex change transplants in Trinidad, Colorado. Dr. I don't know what his name is now. I was in Trinidad, and you could go into the hotel where they're staying, and you had to kind of figure, gee, are these men or are they women yet? You know what I'm saying? It was quite confusing to wrap your mind around what was taking place.
Well, I'll tell you guys right now, soon enough, there's going to be bestiality be the next acceptable thing in the world, and that'll be accepted. That's how disgusting where we are going right now.
Yeah, even pedophilia, they're trying to make it as if it's a
natural thing.
What do they call it? Sexual-oriented. Instead of, that's where the psychiatry comes into this. Is they're claiming that it's a sexual-oriented.
Well, you know what? Bikers won't let that happen. That's for sure.
Well, it's time for the bikers to make some Rocky Mountain Thunder, is what I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
When we come into town, people take notice. So I think it might be a good idea to get together and drive into Washington D.C. I would suggest that we get a razor wire truck and wrap a nice roll of razor wire around the son of a bitch. And as we start taking people out of Washington, we can interrogate them at the gate, and if they don't pass interrogation, then we can get them some enhanced interrogation down in Guantanamo, and that's what it's going to take.
I've been promoting the Rolling Thunder for over 20 years, 25 maybe, with dictator Artie Miller.
Yeah, people take notice because we make a lot of noise, and I had to
I'm
actually
still waiting
sell
for
my
Clay to come riding
motorcycle
with me.
I had to keep selling things because they wouldn't let me earn an income, so I sold my motorcycle, and I had a bad back because of it being beat up by cops. So if I get my back operation, maybe I can get a motorcycle again. But
well, if you do, you should come riding. I'd like to go riding with sometime with Clay too.
Well,
love to do that.
Can I tell you,
been riding,
this is the first time in my life
in
without
LA
2 wheels.
and on Highway 1 many times. We're almost out of time. Ron, thanks for being with me.
Okay?
I appreciate it. And keep me informed about Donna and Mark. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Ron, hopefully,
God bless you all.
everything's good.
There's a group called Abate. You might check out Abate and see if they wouldn't be the crew that wants to get involved.
Always
all
been
right.
a member. Thank you, guys.
There's some good
God bless you all.
All right, God bless you.
Have a great day.